The scariest Christmas. Christmas is one of the most comfortable and charming holidays which is usually celebrated in the closest circle. Although, on some occasions, things happen that people do not expect. This time, the family of Robins won't carry out this captivating holiday together. Lizzie's and Fred's parents are going for urgent business trip. Lizzie is older than her brother, that's why we'll look after for Fred. Now the family of Robins having a dinner before Mr. and Mrs. Robins leaving. Darling, would you be so kind as to look after Fred during the Christmas night? Are you going somewhere? Asked Lizzie, not understanding her parents. Yes, darling, we're going for a business trip. But you know that there will be a Christmas ball. I was preparing for it for the previous month. I would look after Fred, but you should stay at home this Christmas night without any objection. Parents spoke strictly to their daughter. Lizzie's brother Fred was waiting, silently listening to their conversation. He felt sorry for his sister. Lizzie was sincerely waiting for that night. The boy was thinking, and now is forced to give it all up. Then a new idea appeared in his head. Siblings just had to wait for their parents to leave to realize it. When Mr. and Mrs. Robins left the house, Fred immediately ran to his sister's room. While he was entering it, Lizzie was laying on the bed and crying. When Fred saw her face, he became speechless for a minute. It was literally overshadowed by tears. The boy didn't want his sister to cry at all. Hey Lizzie, don't worry, you will go to the ball. The girl got out of bed and looked at her brother. Lizzie, I will stay at home and promise you that everything will be okay. I guess parents won't call us because of being busy. Therefore, we don't have to figure out any legends about your locality. I'm already 12, thus can take care of myself. Don't worry about that. Fred, you're the best brother in the world, thank you. Lizzie was so touched due to her brother's understanding. After their conversation, she went to her room in order to prepare for the ball, which was in some hours. When the girl was already ready, she said goodbye to her brother and came out of home. Fred closed the door and went to play computer games. The atmosphere was very cold. Probably it was Fred's most boring Christmas, spent without parents and sister. After playing the games, Fred decided to eat any Christmas dish which his mom previously cooked. There was really an enormous number of various goodies in the fridge, but the most appealing was a roast turkey. That's why the boy had chosen it. When Fred opened the freezer, he heard a knock on the door. The boy came to it thinking that his sister had returned because he forgot something. However, when Fred opened the door, he saw almost nobody. That's gonna seem strange, he thought. The boy returned to the kitchen and started to eat. In a few minutes, the knocking was heard again. Fred had stopped eating. He came to the door, and a person who was doing that eventually disappeared again. What is happening? Suddenly, the Christmas tree fell down with a very loud and eerie sound. Fred shuddered. All the toys fell with a roar and crashed. one of the fragments hit the boy right in the finger. "Ouch!" Fred screamed. The boy bandaged an injured finger and started to collect the broken toys. 3 a.m. Lizzie marvelously spent her Christmas evening on the ball. Everything was perfect. The girl danced with a fantastic partner who was so gentle. After almost 5 hours of dancing, Lizzie decided to leave the ball because was hugely tired. Although things happened she didn't expect. When the girl opened the living door and came out of it, she unexpectedly got in the comprehensible, deadly, long, and even endless green corridor. Lizzie wasn't able to understand what was happening. Everything seemed like a nightmare. Lizzie looked around the space and quickly decided to reach the end of that corridor. But all her measures were literally in vain. When the girl was very close to the end of the green corridor, the red one appeared. At that moment of reaching the wall of red one, the yellow started to be visible. It seemed to look like an endless corridor, the exit from which didn't even exist. In a split of a second, surrounded with panic, Lizzie decided to return to the ball. But the way to it was enormously long. The best choice was to aspire to get to the end of the long-lasting path. After the blue corridor, the last door which seemed to lead to the end was far, but already visible. Lizzie was just near it when a chock full of terrible creatures appeared. The girl looked more attentively and in a split second had to run back to that maze. Zombies were very slowly in their movements, although at that moment the girl was worrying mainly about the impossibleness of getting to that exit, the access to which was literally limited by those creatures. When Lizzie reached the other side of the blue corridor, another one did not appear. In front of her eyes was just a wall. She was literally in a vicious circle. "It is impossible," whispered Lizzie to herself. Finally, zombies reached her, and the girl literally got plumped in their circle. Fred was sitting on the floor and collecting the broken toys. Suddenly, the unknown shadows appeared outside the window. The boy ran straight to it and closed the window and the door. Then he heard 3 knocks and the voices. "Freddy, these are your parents. You may open the door." These were really his parents' voices. Thus, the boy opened the door without a shadow of doubt. "Surprise! Happy Christmas!" Fred remembered that Lizzie was not at home, now and tensed up. However, he noticed that parents came much earlier than it was even possible. "Daddy, Mommy, and why are you so early?" His parents started bethinking about their answer. "Your granny wanted to sleep and asked us to leave her. She was in a very bad mood today, and we couldn't do anything at all. Thus, we have decided to stop. But you said you're going for a business trip, and my granny passed away almost 3 years ago. And why wouldn't you ask something about Lizzie?" So many questions overshadowed the boy's mind. The parents started to worry. But at last, Freddie's and Lizzie's stepfather decided to say, "Freddie, let's go to the Christmas table. We want to say something to you and celebrate that fantastic day together in the circle of family." The boy became speechless. They didn't answer my question. This seemed to be really strange. He was thinking. Fred eventually decided to run right into his room. His parents were following him step by step. When the boy entered the room, someone was calling. It was his real parents. Fred didn't understand what was happening, although answered the phone. "Hi, Fred. Merry Christmas to you and Lizzie." "Hi," the boy said. "Father and I will be at home in a day. How are you and Lizzie going?"